Hello everybody. This is another log. The other logs have been lost, but hopefully we can fix this up with time. The current date is the 27th of December, 2021, 10:53 p.m. Not been feeling good. I haven't been feeling good for a fair bit today, and a lot of things have been coming up, been sitting on my chest, and I don't know if I should have a friend, or at least I feel like I have a friend. I have a couple friends in my life, many of which are very important to me, because they're the few people that stay in my head. They're the ones that, at the end of the day, I hope I never forget. Too many people in my life I've forgotten. Too many people I don't remember the name of. And all these people that stir around in my head are some of the most cherished people I know of. I won't be naming names. I don't know why, but I feel like that sort of takes away from the point of it. There's many of them that I want to become better friends with. Many of them that I want to find more time with. One of them that I share the lowest with, and I don't know if I ever will be able to do that. I have this irrational fear that a lot of people have fear that they'll be forgotten or whatever. But I always worry that that in the end, no matter all the good things that I do, I'm not going to remember any of them. I'm terrified of that. I'm so terrified of the fact that in the end, I'm not going to be remembered by any of the people that I hold most dear. I have a feeling that the reason I'm feeling this way is because I have another worry that they don't remember me once I've left their sight. I worry that at the end of the day, they're never going to. This is all very impromptu. I worry at the end of the day that... Why can't I get it out into words? I could say it so clearly beforehand. I'm an important enough person in their life for them to care about me once I'm not with them. I worry that when I'm not around them, that I don't fill a single space in their head. But the moment I come back, all the memories flood back. I am not anymore. I worry that if I were to just suddenly disappear. I remember I had a friend who told I haven't talked to him in years, but he told me one day that the reason that I seemed like such a nice person to be around was because I was the embodiment of what lighthouses are. I'm that stable piece of land in the middle of the ocean that people can find and see and know that they're safe and they're close to home and that they're not going to run aground so long as that person is there.
Sam.
Lighthouses get lonely too.
Who are you?
I said this so much better in my head. Oh, there you are. Jeez, you fell asleep. You fell asleep to the darndest things. What were you watching? Oh, man, I remember these. God, this was so long ago. I don't... God, I don't... It's like these are... Let's just say there's some old memories. It's been a while. But,
these probably are really old and faded, and it's probably hard to exactly make out what's going on. So, why don't we try something else? Okay, starting from the beginning. After living a rather eventful life and going on a couple different adventures, I ended up getting lost at sea, and eventually found myself washed upon shore of this beautiful little island that I now call home. On this island were many things, a couple forests, nice little beaches, and a wonderful little lighthouse, which I decided to take shelter in for the night. Unfortunately, or fortunately for all of you people out there, I explored a tad bit too far up and ran into the entity that has taken up refuge inside the very top of the lighthouse. I'm unsure if this is the case, but to my knowledge, it seems like whatever is keeping that light on is also what is keeping that entity there. They are connected on a very spiritual level, I guess. After my close shave upstairs, I made sure to lock the door behind me and made my way back downstairs, where I was able to run into Yonk. Now, Yonk was surprised to see anyone else out here. I mean, this is one of the few entrances to the mortal world that not many people would show up to, and they were a bit concerned about the fact that I was there, but we hit it off pretty well, and after a bit of back and forth, we decided it would be mutually beneficial for me to stay here. So, in exchange for keeping this place running and making sure everything looks alright, as well as letting me know more about the thing upstairs, I am allowed to stay here, which is wonderful because I absolutely love this place. Now, that's not to say that this place doesn't have its problems. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Yonk and the entity upstairs are the only people that are able to pay a visit to this place. It's almost like this lighthouse is on a set of ley lines or something, or it's at a crossroads where realities seem to overlap upon each other, almost like a consistent place in the multiverse. And as such, a lot of people end up finding their way here. Now, I can tell you all kinds of stories about the people who have come here and the people who I have talked to and tried my best to help. I know one Nanupo Nupo, upon one of his searches out in the world, was able to find me and allowed me to take a bit of time away from this little place after my traumatic experience and introduce me to the Nanupo Nupo Force, his little ragtag group of people who essentially try to make sure that positivity it runs rampant throughout the world, and along with that, make sure that everybody is more or less safe. Apparently, Nanu liked my spunk and decided that I would be the kingpin. Now, of course, the group has gotten much, much larger over the past year or so, and I'm not sure if that's anything to do with me, but I'm pretty sure it has everything to do with Nanu, whose charisma is absolutely through the roof. Another person who liked to show up on a recurring basis was Elbak. Now, I'm not sure exactly where he comes from. He seems to like to hop between planes a lot, but weirdly enough, he takes the form of an axolotl, much like myself, and he reminds me a lot of myself, and as such, I try my best to make sure I'm helping him. For instance, he had an issue when he was first learning mitosis. With a body like Elbak's, someone who takes the form of an axolotl, I assume that he was just another traveler passing through, much like the other ones. I'll get to them later. So, to my knowledge, it seems, at the time, Elbak was having trouble with this thing that we now refer to as mitosis. He was having issues, basically having more copies of himself, and I think it might have just been a focus thing. I taught him a couple different things, reassured him about stuff like that everything was alright, because, funnily enough, I'd actually gone through a similar thing. Again, this kid reminds me a lot of myself, which is very scary, but we all do what we can to help those around, And, after giving him a couple pointers, he more or less was able to both master and perfect the art of mitosis. Now, you might be wondering why I don't do that anymore. It makes me kind of tired, and the copies that I make are not perfect. More or less, it feels like I'm spreading myself thin than making as good copies as Elbak does here. Absolutely a mad lad. One day I'm gonna have to have him teach me, I feel like. But because of the kindness that I showed him, he decided that he was going to stay around. And honestly, it's been wonderful to have someone basically just hang around the lighthouse as much as people were expecting. And that's just the beginning of it. I mean, I've helped ghosts find a little place to reside in my lighthouse in little lamps. I've helped people like Wooly, who basically are made out of crafting materials, get their faces back, or, after being reformed, regain their memories. And it's very nice. It's very nice being able to help people. Now, you're probably wondering what I meant when I said people who were just passing through. To my knowledge, it seems like the longer people stay here, the more they take on a form that suits them. When they're just passing through, they seem to stay as little axolotl creatures and stuff, and they might hang around the lighthouse and stuff, and they can be a bit taxing at times. But it really does it warms my heart to know that these people who are just passing through, essentially on this crossroads of the multiverse, sort of, decide to stick around and say hi and decide to almost make a little home here in a way. I really appreciate it, At the end of the day, I'm just happy that everyone's here, and as long as people are following the rules, I'm pretty sure that everything should be fine. Speaking of which, for now, do not. I must urge everyone: do not go into the top light of the lighthouse. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, why don't I just get rid of whatever's up there? And I don't think it's impossible, but what I do know is that it being up there is better than the alternative. And I think that's about all I can really say on the matter. It's all I really know about it. But, yeah, that's more or less what we have going.
Hello, this is Term, signing in. It is currently June 30th, 2022, 10:05 p.m. It's been a really weird couple of months, and an even bigger crash in the past week. The past couple months have been honestly amazing, if I'm allowed to say that. I've had people find me. I've had people find the little light that I've been sending out into the world. People have found me. It's honestly kind of terrifying, because I'm not used to it, and I didn't realize I wasn't used to it, and I should have known that I wasn't used to it, but I get excited to know that there are people dropping into the little harbor that I've created for myself. This little lighthouse seems to have started to become its own little home. I've met this wonderful person called Elback. If you're listening to this, I doubt you ever will, but the most amazing and dedicated fan I think I could have ever hoped to know. I know that sounds really weird, considering that I've only been, fully live for about 2 months at this point, but I appreciate all that you've done. It just feels so weird to say. It's scary, because a lot of that, it sort of put a lot of things into perspective. That there are people I need to talk to, and I need to get the attention of, and I need to interact with before I lose the chance to tell them what I need to tell them. There's someone very important that I need to tell. I need to tell them how I feel. It's the same one from last time. The one. Oh, yeah, I'm mad at. I still haven't been able to set aside time for them because they're always so busy. But I've waited longer. What's a couple more months? Anyway, sorry, getting off topic. it hurts. And a lot of good stuff has been happening to me. A lot of really good stuff. I've found people, and now that I've found them, everything else is trying to fight for its own position in my life, I guess. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't want to have to choose. I don't want to have to choose, but I'm gonna put my best effort into both. If I can be honest with you, I'm actually hoping that I want to be a lighthouse that nobody can ignore. I want to be someplace that you look at and you know, I can rest there. That is a place of safety and of warmth and of everything. If you get there, you'll be safe for as long as you're in those waters. I probably sound like a crazy person taking this metaphor so far, but I do all these things that are so heartfelt and human. I can't help but want to do something similar. I'm not making sense right now. I'm gonna do what I can. And I don't know when I'll come back to this log. But I think this is healthy for me. I think this is a good thing for me because I get it. It's something that I can do that'll help me be myself. I'm putting myself back together. I'm realizing who I was and who I was meant to be and who I want to be. And I can't give that up right now. So I'm gonna see how far this goes. Thank you all for tuning in. Whoever is listening to this, I probably don't even know your name. But this is Term, signing out.